In this video, I'm going to be telling you how to measure your success in your cold email campaigns. Let's get right into it. My name is Luis Ortega III. I am the founder of Excel Marketing, a B2B lead generation company. We help B2B companies that does product or service, help them get more sales calls via cold email outreach. So I do this on a daily basis, just for context, right? So the way you do it is, the way you measure your success in cold email campaigns is directly correlated to what you want to get out of it. Okay? To get in depth on what I mean is, what do you seek out of cold email? What are you trying to get? Are you trying to get bookings? Are you trying to get sales calls? Right? Essentially, that's the first step, because when you hop on the sales call, that's where you can either find out what the problem is, propose the solution to that problem, and then essentially close the deal. So to simplify it, our point B in this example would be getting more sales calls, right? I want you to think of a funnel, like a funnel where from getting more and in-depth, right? Essentially, in that funnel, the sales calls is right down below, okay? And essentially, when it lands, it's the sale. But before we get in the sales calls, there are layers that you have to do first. So relating towards how to measure your success is essentially, we just have to measure the layers within the funnel, okay? If our main intention is the sales, okay, what's the step behind the sale? A sales call, okay? Well, what's the step behind the sales call? Maybe a booking. How do we get them to book? Okay? And the step even behind to how do we get them to book is the outreach itself. We have to do the outreach, get them to book, get them on a sales call, make them show up, and essentially closing the deal. So we've just created our whole entire funnel. That is how our funnel works. Okay? The reason why I'm explaining that is you have to be clear with your intentions here. If this is not correlating to you, then you might have another intention while you're doing the cold outreach. This is even applicable when you're doing other marketing strategies like paid ads. When you're doing paid ads, essentially what you're doing is spending $1 to get $5, $3, getting your return on ad spend. On cold email, it's like the same thing, but a different channel. Instead of you targeting the people via a simplified or like in a massive audience type of stuff, you target individual peoples via cold email outreach. So how do we measure the success? Well, if you want it simplified, you just measure how many leads you're contacting to get one booking. It's essentially what you're doing, right? But the reason why I explained the whole funnel is that's where you can get, if you want to get more granular, if you want to get more in-depth, you have to measure each step of the funnel. So let me take you back first, and then I'm going to be explaining on how you can improve step by step. So the first step is doing the outreach itself, okay? So the first thing that you have to ask there is my email sending, okay? And is my emails landing on the right folder? Or essentially the same thing. Are my emails sending to the right person? Are you receiving it when I send it to you, right? That would be your deliverability. You have to properly set it up, get the DNS records straight, make sure that you're doing the proper warm-up process, and you're doing the standard no text, simplified messages, so that you can avoid landing in the spam folder, or worst case, being reported as spam, right? Make sure that your deliverability is straight. If you want more in-depth setup on that, I have a list of videos on my YouTube channel. Just click on the button below. But proceeding first, you have to make sure that your emails are sending, okay? And another way to get that is you have to make sure that the emails you're sending to that person you're sending it to are actually relevant. Because if I'm a marketing person, and if I receive an email about solar, which I'm not a right fit for, that wouldn't be relevant to me. meaning I could have just reported that as a spam, right? That's not relevant to me. So this also goes with your filtering, you building out the list of the people that you're going to be reaching out to. It has to be relevant to them. So make sure that the list of people that you're going to be reaching out to are relevant to what you're offering, meaning it is your ICP, okay? It is your ideal customer profile. These are the people I want to sell my product or service to, because if they are fit, then you reach out to them, and they're interested, you just either get a yes or a no, simply, right? So you make it relevant to them. The next step there would be the response before you actually book them. So booking and then showing up, right? That's another step. But booking, when you're doing the outreach itself, essentially you're sending the emails, they respond. These are the things that you have to do. First, you have to be there when they respond. You have to actually be there, because imagine this: if you were to reply to my email and then a few seconds afterwards you receive another email from me, there is a high chance of you seeing that email immediately and be fresh with the conversation. If I get a random idea from a stranger that I really like and I got curious about it, and then suddenly he replies back, there's a high possibility that I could be moving into the next stage of the funnel out there. First step, be there. You have to improve your speed to reply, speed to lead ratio. How do you set that up? You can either set up a notification or make sure that your emails are open all the time. You can create a master inbox. If you are handling hundreds of emails or hundreds of inbox, you can, like Smart Lead, right? When you set up your Smart Lead account, there's a automation that we use via make.com where we automate the entire process, and it essentially sends us a notification when someone responds to us, right? And also, when you're doing this at scale, I don't know if you're a marketing agency or if you're just doing it at scale, you can have an inbox manager. That's the main task, is just to maintain the responses, make sure that they're there, okay? First step is to be there. Second is you have to address what they're responding to. If they're asking you a specific question about pricing, about details, you have to respond to that. But here's the caveat. When you respond, you want to transition this to the next stage as smoothly as possible. If you're asking me for pricing, I'm going to be addressing the price to you directly on the email. But I'm not going to leave you hanging. This is the price. Do you want to hop on a call so I can explain this further? I'm still moving you to the next stage. Okay. If you have a complicated pricing structure and you just want to give them a range, right? It typically ranges from $1,500 to $3,000. If you want, I can give you a custom pricing package and explain this in depth. How about we hop on a call, a 15-minute call this week? Are you interested? Right? So I'm first responding to your inquiry, but moving you to the next stage is what I'm doing. Okay? So that's the two things that you have to improve there when you get a response from the leads. Okay? Now, if you were to handle that, get to respond to them quickly and handle their concerns, if they agree with you on a sales call, that is you already got a win. That is half the chance win already. Now, here's another problem. If they agree with you, what are the chances that they forget the call and then just don't show up? They may agree on a call on Friday at 11 a.m., but they don't show up. So what are the steps that you can do to essentially make them show up? Okay? So these will be the industry secrets that I can give you. Okay? So you do this. This is what we do, is we send them a 24-hour reminder, 24 hours before the call. If the meeting is on Friday, send a reminder on Thursday. Simple. Just reminding them, okay, tomorrow I have a meeting. This is the time. This is the link. Make it easy for them. Make it easy for them to show up. Easy for the link. Here's the link. Here's what you need. Here's what we're going to be discussing. Essentially, you just have to show up. I'm making it easier for my prospect to show up on the call. 24-hour reminder. Next thing is a same-day reminder. If you can get them to show up, remind them 24 hours and also remind them around 5 hours before the meeting, so that earlier in the morning, if they get a reminder first thing in the morning, if you have like an earlier meeting, best way to do, if you're typically around, we're setting up our meetings around 9, 10, 11 a.m. So you can schedule to send it in the morning, like 6 a.m., right? Hey, first name, this is a reminder for our call today at 9 a.m. Eastern. Here's the link for easier access. Kindly confirm if you're able to make it. Make them commit to saying yes, I'll be there. Because if you get a confirmation, they can essentially, you're asking them, okay, will you have any problems with the time and date that we set up, or are we still cool? Yes, no. No, I had to reschedule. Yes, I will show up. Making it easier for them. And you're getting the commitment. You're reminding them. This is the purpose of it. Show up, show up, show up. You're essentially making it easier. The first thing in the morning, when they check their emails, okay, I have a meeting later at 11. Here's the link. Okay. Right? And the way to do it as well is you have this calendar tools like Calendly. We set up our bookings via Calendly. And the way we do it, you can configure in the settings to remind them 30 minutes before the call, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, etc. And another secret tip that you could get there is if you're doing meetings later around 11, maybe in the afternoon, your best chances, if you know their phone number, call them directly. Hey, just wanted to remind you about our call later this afternoon, later this 11 a.m. Just wanted to make sure that you're still cool with it, right? If you can get them on a call, that's a high chance that you can make sure that you receive it. And this also goes to show that if you're a busy person, if you're an executive, right, this will also this would also allow you to avoid the time wasters, the no-shows, right? Because essentially, if you're a business owner and then there's certain time slots in your calendar that's not filled, that's a wasted time for you. So if they don't respond, you can even tell them, if I don't get a response to this, I will cancel this to avoid wasting your time and mine, you know, and get them and cancel it. If they're not responding, cancel it, because you have to commit. I'm investing my time. You have to invest yours and make sure that you're committed. My time is not free, you know. So make sure you remind them. That's essentially the key to making them show up. Okay. Now, when you hop on the call itself, that's where you go your entire sales process. Now, the idea behind it is just, okay, are they a good fit for me? Do they have the actual problem that I'm solving? Can I provide a solution to the problem that they're facing? Is it fit within their budget? So those are the questions that you typically answer within your mind. If this is a good fit for you. But to summarize, you just extracted the whole funnel from optimizing your deliverability, making sure that the list is relevant, the script is relevant to them, making it easier for them to say yes to, making it the message simplified, and then handling the response, booking them to a meeting, and then making sure that they show up on the meeting, and essentially closing the deal. That is how you crack cold email. This is Luis Ortega from Excel Marketing. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.